4.8% APR, 48-month GMAC financing on Grand Am, Sunbird, Le Mans, or Grand Prix. Until May 2nd. That means you have to move very fast to Roughton, Hall, Bob Coupler, Parkway, Ward, Holloman, or Duke. Your Tidewater Pontiac dealers.
Discover the land of the free.
Good evening. Tonight, the Postal Service is appealing to the public for help in solving a mail bomb mystery at the Christian Broadcasting Network in Virginia Beach.
The Postal Service is offering up to $50,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of whoever is responsible for the potentially fatal device. The mail bomb went off yesterday, injuring a CBN security guard who tonight remains in stable condition. The package was intended for CBN President Pat Robertson. And while 5 agencies are investigating the incident, some students at Regent University are shocked and they're frightened.
It was a pretty, just a pretty cheap shot, or a fairly psychotic way of explaining your concern with religious broadcasting the way it is now.
Being a student, it causes, I guess, a little anxiety. You know, you don't know. It happened in the mail room, but we've got mail over here too. And what if it had been diverted or something?
The FBI crime lab in Washington, D.C. is reassembling the remnants of the mail bomb in hopes that the device will help lead investigators to a suspect. Tonight, authorities say a short-circuited air conditioner is to blame for a fire that heavily damaged a Williamsburg hotel. The fire broke out after 2 this afternoon at the York Street Suites, a recently remodeled hotel. There were no injuries in the fire. Many of the guests were away at Colonial Williamsburg and Busch Gardens. 8 suites were damaged. Hotel management says accommodations will be provided for guests whose rooms were damaged.
Hundreds of thousands of anti-abortionists gathered in Washington, D.C. today. They're hoping to refute the impression that the anti-abortion movement is on the wane. Bruce Morton has details.
Who'll speak up for the little ones?
It's been a gathering of the faithful preaching to the faithful, preaching the unchanging rhetoric of their long fight to ban abortion.
This we may say confidently. The worst years are behind us. The conscience of this country, because of you, is stirring.
Both sides in the abortion debate hold these big rallies on Washington's Mall and brag about how many people they turn out. But in fact, in the months since the Supreme Court's Webster decision, the battle has really shifted to the states.
I have vetoed House Bill 625.
The anti-abortion movement has been trying to pass a bill banning abortion as a means of birth control, hoping it would be appealed to the Supreme Court, which would then use it to overturn Roe versus Wade, the decision which first legalized abortion. But Cecil Andrus vetoed the bill in Idaho, and it failed in other states. Pennsylvania did pass a law drastically restricting abortions after 24 weeks. That's been challenged in court and may reach the Supreme Court. West Virginia has banned taxpayer-funded abortions. South Carolina enacted a law requiring minors to get their parents' consent for an abortion. Michigan is expected to do the same thing. Speaker after speaker at today's big rally reminded the crowd that abortion will be a major issue in a lot of state elections this fall. Races for governor, for seats in state legislatures. In New Jersey and Virginia, which elected governors in 1989, abortion rights forces claimed success.
I don't think big demonstrations convince a politician that he really has to worry about you in the election. What he needs to know is whether you can hurt him more than the other side can hurt him. And right now, the right-to-lifers are not hurting politicians very much.
For the anti-abortion forces, this was a day to gather and feel good. The hard work lies ahead. The real tests will come in November. Bruce Morton, CBS News, Washington.
Meanwhile, in Oregon, the National Organization for Women is helping to organize pro-choice voters there to defeat several anti-abortion initiatives coming up on the November ballot. About 2,000 people showed up for that rally, including now President Molly Yard. Yard said the Oregon initiatives are among the most punitive in the nation.
The thickest and perhaps most famous part of the Berlin Wall is coming down. Workers begin today tearing down the stretch of graffiti-covered concrete in front of the Brandenburg Gate. Ronald Reagan wants to see the democratic reforms that brought down the Berlin Wall to hit another communist nation, Cuba. The former president spoke today before about 10,000 people in Miami's Orange Bowl, calling for free elections in Cuba. Reagan blasted Cuban leader Fidel Castro in this speech, which was broadcast live to the Caribbean island via the U.S. government's Radio Marti.
More than 10,000 workers battled riot police through the streets of the South Korean city of Ulsan today. The fighting started when police stormed striking workers at the world's largest shipyard owned by the Hyundai Corporation. The workers used firebombs, rocks, pipes, and clubs in the battle. Officials say at least 50 policemen and 10 workers were injured, and there were more than 500 arrests. A helicopter pilot was killed this morning after his chopper crashed atop an office building in Southfield, Missouri. The chopper was removing a satellite dish from the top of the IBM building when it apparently developed engine problems, crashed onto the roof, and burst into flames. 4 people assisting with the work managed to escape injury. The pilot was the only person aboard the helicopter. The Federal Aviation Administration is investigating. And in Leadville, Colorado today, the wreckage of a light plane was discovered. The plane was carrying a woman's singing quartet. It crashed into the side of a snow-covered mountain yesterday. All 6 people aboard are presumed dead.
NASA engineers tonight are still wrestling with problems with the Hubble Space Telescope. Meanwhile, the crew of the Discovery who sent the Hubble into orbit is getting ready to come home. John Getter has more.
Discovery and crew were told the Hubble telescope, after some fits and starts, is acting better.
Well, the telescope is out of safe mode, and everything is looking very good.
There is a lot of work to do to take the complications out of talking to Hubble, but controllers say all they need is a little time.
For Commander Lawrence Schreiber, before we get
Discovery's crew took time to talk with reporters. Schreiber saying he thinks the environment on Earth appears to be improving.
In general, we have been of the opinion that it looks a little bit better than we remember. Maybe a little less smoke in some places.
Discovery is being prepared for a Sunday morning landing, if an approaching front in California allows.
Should the front slow down, we'll have an excellent opportunity to make it into Edwards. Should it speed up, the high winds will be the main problem.
While Discovery's crew packed, those set to fly Columbia in 3 weeks rehearsed. As Columbia is ready to return to space and Discovery from space, the Hubble telescope has left NASA feeling quite proud. It's expected to amaze and amuse for 15 years.
Makes little kids' eyes light up. It makes little kids want to learn how to add, subtract, and study science. And that's extremely gratifying to see that you're a part, to know that you're a part of a mission that seems to have excited the nation as well as the world about something.
At Johnson Space Center, John Getter for CBS News.
After a day of bright sunshine and gentle breezes, Sunday morning's forecast doesn't sound so promising. Weatherman Brian Hill standing by with that rather gloomy outlook. Brian?
Thanks, Jan. The shuttle landing could have a problem because of a front that's coming into the area. We have a front of our own that's knocking on our doorstep through Roanoke tonight, and you can expect strong winds ahead of it tomorrow. There's some good news. If you're a windsurfer or a sailboarder, you want powerful winds, you get them tomorrow. Southeasterly winds 15 to 30 knots tomorrow. But if you want sunshine, well, you probably got a sunburn today, and you need a day off from that just to heal up a little. We'll have clouds and showers, thunderstorms at times, 74 for the high. On the peninsula, the Tanny Index is 0 tomorrow, 77 as far as South Southampton roads, and 80 degrees in northeastern North Carolina. Will this clear out later on in the day? Well, we'll talk about that. We'll have the Sunday marine forecast as well when I come back a little bit later.
Thanks, Brian. About 40 homes in Alamo, California were damaged, and a few were declared unfit for habitation after 2 earthquakes rumbled through Northern California last night. The 2 jolts produced Richter scale readings of 4.6 and 3.9 and were centered 30 miles east of San Francisco. The shocks are said to be part of a continuing series shaking the region this month. Tremors of up to 5.5 on the Richter scale were felt in the Bay Area on April 6th and April 18th. None caused any major damage. Coming up next on News 3, a safe haven is being prepared for endangered wild horses in Corolla, North Carolina.
But first, if you're feeling lucky tonight, pay attention. Here are the $1 Million Lotto numbers.
Now get 2 free tickets to the $350,000 Crestar Classic, the 12th annual LPGA golf tournament presented by Farm Fresh. And co-starring the official cars of the Crestar Classic, new 1990 Chryslers and Plymouths. Take a test drive at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Get 2 free tickets to the Classic. Purchase tickets at local Crestar bank branches or Farm Fresh supermarkets through May 10th and at the gate. Or see one of the 10 Hampton Roads Chrysler Plymouth dealers for your free tickets.
From the Far East to Europe, across the Caribbean, and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
For the one place confidence matters most, trust Ortho Lawn and Garden Care. Ortho products are the most effective you can buy, so take care of your environment. With results you can see for yourself. You're better off with Ortho. Win a new Chevrolet Astrovan in the beautiful American Yard sweepstakes at an Ortho dealer near you.
A group of citizens is building what it hopes to be a sanctuary for an endangered herd of horses in Corolla, North Carolina. They want to protect the horses from being killed along the highway by motorists. 40 volunteers braved 90-degree weather today, building a fence that would protect 11 wild Spanish Mustangs from the trappings of civilization. The fence, to stretch from the Atlantic Ocean to the Currituck Sound, is the idea of Debbie Wessner.
Go out at night and we chase them off the road, and it's like telling your kids stay off the road, and then you go home and hope they stay off the road, and you know they're not going to.
I've lived here most of my life, and I've worked up in this area for about 10 years now, and I've seen a lot of them be hit and run over, and it's pretty sad.
The volunteers plan to finish the project this weekend, but they fear the work may continue until next week.
Another wildlife wonder was captured on tape today in Newport News. As the signs of spring are abundant, so are the signs of new life and new responsibility, as this mother robin found out. We spotted her feeding her babies in the Warwick-Villic area of the city, and from all indications, it looked like there were no complaints from the little birdies. Looks like enough was able to go around. Well, except for one.
Some big mouths.
Coming up next on News 3, enjoy it while you can. The great weather may not last.
That's right. News 3's Brian Hill says rain may be on its way. He'll have details in the forecast when we return.
If you're considering an Accord or Camry, consider Car and Driver magazine's report on the Mitsubishi Galant after a special 30,000-mile test. They called it an ideal car for a deep and meaningful long-term relationship, adding that over 30,000 miles, not a single thing went wrong with the Galant. That's right, nothing. Nothing went wrong. How many long-term relationships can you say that about?
You could save up to $1,000 at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer now.
How to get a sound night's sleep. Place your home under the watchful eye of your nationwide agent. Then, mix in discounts for fire alarms, smoke detectors, and security systems. Add a claim service that's ready day and night. And don't forget to put out the cat.
Nationwide is on your side.
See ya. You know, Ford Escorts are really affordable. You get so much car for so little money. And with cash back, they start at under $7,000. Now, my Escort LX came with air conditioning, stereo, power steering and brakes, electric remote mirrors, and lots more. All for under $8,500. Plus, it came with a 6-year, 60,000-mile warranty.
Now get 2.9 financing or $1,000 cash back at your Tidewater Ford dealer.
No wonder Ford Escort's the world's #1 seller.